earlier, Snap warns him that this situation is different from fighting T, because there are 3 opponents this time. Haben just gives him a confident smile, saying that there is no way he can fight 3 people at once, and Snap laughs at him before cursing him out loud. However, Haben has some other plans. He admits that fighting 3 people at once will be too much for an amateur like him, and he will surely get beaten. The truth was that Haben didn't trust Cockman's last video. It was the first time that he didn't trust his online teacher. On the other hand, the bullies are checking out some of their videos this month. One of them is a man acting like a gangster to scare a woman in an elevator, and the other one is where the boys call the cops on Shark Hood for smoking. Both the videos have over 8 million views combined, and that means they earned over $20,000 already. The boys surround Shark Hoodie Guy and ask him to give them their cut already. They keep laughing and chatting all the way, and don't even pay Haben and his friends, who are sneaking up on them, any attention. Snap asks Haben if he heard what they were talking about earlier, and the only thing he heard was about the $20,000. He then recalls that Bomi told him that they seem to stage their content, but they don't have any proof of that. Snap tells him that they might have some proof. He opens the elevator video and asks Haben to find what is wrong in the video. He can't see anything wrong because the woman in the lift appears genuinely terrified. Snap admits that her tears have tricked everyone else too, and the thing that no one paid any attention to is the buttons inside the elevator. Snap explains that the video is 2 minutes long, but there are only 7 floors in the building according to the elevator. He says that either the elevator moves at a snail pace to cover the 7 floors in 2 minutes, or the woman just pretended to press the button. Both Haben and Gil are shocked as they try to process this. Snap says that most of the time, if content is entertaining, the viewers don't worry about the minor details. So many YouTubers use this to their advantage. They hire professional actors to stage their videos. Snap then tells about the video where they called cops on the boy smoking. He asks why would the cops bother with a teenager smoking, and then reveals that he went to the police station to get some inside info. He learned that they went to check the area not because of the smoking complaint, but because the bully girls told them that they spotted a wanted criminal. Haben is left speechless on hearing all this, and Snap says that they have enough proof now that the bullies stage their comedy videos. He says that they can use this to expose them. But Haben says that they are still missing the final blow. He wants something that will seal the bullies' fate, just like they did with Pac. Just then, the TikTok thought Rumi appears behind them and asks them when are they going to collab with her. Because they promised to do so earlier, she already has an idea about the video too. She wants Haben to spill coffee on her shirt, because that will surely get them a lot of views from the online incels. She grabs their ties, saying that since everything is staged already, they should also do it. She says that they should already get rehearsing, but Haben refuses to do so. He says that Bomi got hurt because of a staged event, and he will never do something like that. He tells Rumi that if she wants to do such things, she should go to the comedy crew. While she acts mad at him, Rumi takes up his offer and does the coffee spilling prank to the bullies. She thanks Haben for giving him this wonderful idea, and then the bullies praise her acting skills. They say that they don't usually do staged videos, but this time, the idea was good. Rumi tells them to stop lying to a fellow YouTuber, because everyone stages their content and the viewers never get it. The leader of the bullies begins smoking as he agrees with her. He says that their viewers are a bunch of idiots who never catch the details, but at least they fill their pockets. They roast their viewers, and then Rumi suggests they shoot some more videos and asks if they have any ideas. The leader says that for his next video, he plans to expose Haben's channel viral hit. He is sure that a worm like him couldn't defeat T in 100 years. He believes that Haben staged the fight, but Rumi can attest that he did not. That doesn't matter to the bully, and he says that they can just edit the video to make it look like the fight was staged. He says that the viewers are hungry for drama, and they don't care about truth. He believes that just editing one video perfectly will be able to bring the channel down, and Haben will return to being a loser. The bully leader laughs, saying that the reason celebrities are trolled so badly is because it is easy to make up things online. Rumi says that it is too extreme for her, and she can't help them with it. She takes her leave, but then the bully leader stops her. He shows her the recording of her insulting the audience and asks if she wants to get cancelled before Haben. He tells her to join an alliance with him, but then Rumi shows that she was recording everything the entire time as well. She reveals that she made a deal with Haben that if she can get video evidence that they were staging their content, she will do a collab with Viral Hit. What is more, the entire session was being streamed live, and the viewers know the entire truth. To top it off, Haben and his crew were hiding in the shadows the entire time. As they make their entrance, the bullies are stunned. Rumi tosses the phone over to Snap, who puts it in his device, because it was Haben's phone to begin with. Rumi then tells the bullies that no matter how much money they make, She will never stage a show like them. She gives Haben a high five, and he thanks her, before apologizing because the part where she was bad-mouthing the viewers was broadcasted too. He then moves on to the bullies. Thinking about the way to beat multiple opponents at one, he gets closer to the bully leader and intimidates him with his stern expressions. However, what really terrifies the bully is that Haben is towering over him. His height seems to have increased all of a sudden, and his shoulders are broader too. Actually, when Haben was watching the videos, Cockman told him that unless he masters at least 10 of his skills, there is no way that he can beat multiple opponents. Haben panicked at Cockman started running away, but then he said psych and told him that even without fighting, one can win against multiple opponents. The best way to do that is by bluffing and intimidating the enemies like insects and animals do. Using that technique, Haben gets the upper hand on the bullies, even though he is so nervous that he can piss his pants any moment. He tells them to hand over the video containing Bomi and then run away. However, as he steps on the drainage channel, his bluff is suddenly exposed as his legs twist. His shoe rolls towards the bullies, and they realize that he was using insoles to appear bigger. Haben realizes that he is screwed now, and he can only ask for his shoe back. Haben begins running as the bullies chase after him, and for the first time, he doesn't hear Cockman's voice in his head. He is too excited to keep a level head, and confronts the one who is at the forefront. The bully throws a punch at him, but Haben uses his headbutt to embrace the impact and then uses his lethal calf kick against him. For the first time in forever, he realizes that he grew stronger without even noticing it. However, that does not change the fact that he is fighting 3 people at once, and his previous calf kick has done no damage. Kim is also watching the fight from the gym, and his friends ask him what does he see in the tiny shrimp called Haben, and he just asks them if they could force themselves to practice just one type of kick 10,000 times in 1 month. Kim's gym friends can't believe that Haben did 10,000 calf kicks in just 1 month, because that is no ordinary feat. Kim affirms and says that any ordinary person who gets hit by a strong calf kick won't even be able to move. That is what is happening with the bullies. While they are trying to show that they are unfazed by the kick, their legs hurt so much that they cannot move. They somehow tough it out, but they are sweating like crazy. However, their leader doesn't move from his place even though he has not been kicked, and that confuses Kim. His master, Logan, who is an MMA triple champion, knows the answer. He tells Kim that he must have some problem with his eyes to not notice that Haben just used the technique of intimidation on his enemies. The bully leader is quite nervous just because his lackeys got hit, but he tries acting tough by saying that he is still wondering how he should beat up Haben. Well, Haben is thinking that for real. He realizes that his heart is beating like crazy, and even though he is scared, he is too excited to just stop, and his face becomes like that of a typical molester. Just then, Gil tells everyone to stop because she has one of the bully girls in a baseball choke. She tells the bullies to back away if they don't want to see their friend get knocked out, and the bullies actually see this as a chance to escape. Their leader says that he can't do anything because Gil took his friend hostage. Otherwise, he would have beaten the crap out of Haben. They leave the place, and Gil acts smug as she tells Haben that he doesn't need to thank her. However, no one has noticed it yet that this encounter awakened something inside Haben. He was having fun just now, and he thinks that he must have gone crazy. His friends celebrate their victory, but Haben cannot remove his hands from his face. Soon, the video about teaching the comedy crew a lesson is uploaded, and it gets 2-3 million views in 1 week. The bullies try apologizing to their audience and promise to change, but after what they said about fooling the audience, no one trusts them anymore. Eventually, they end up closing their channel. They even lose the guts to bully Gil anymore. However, there is another trouble brewing somewhere. As Bomi returns home from work late at night, she is constantly terrified and on the watch for a stalker. Suddenly, Haben texts her, saying that going home alone late at night is dangerous, especially when she has felt a stalker chasing her recently. He offers to walk her home, but she politely refuses. As she is lost in her screen, she bumps into someone, and a look of horror spreads on her face as she sees the gigantic frame of her stalker. He is Mangi, a Korean sumo wrestler, who wants to make Bomi his at any cost. He calls her cute and licks his lips, and then creepily gets close to her as he reminds her that they are alone right now. Suddenly, Kim arrives there out of nowhere and grabs Mangi's hand. He asks Bomi if this is the idiot who is stalking her, but before she can give an answer, Mangi grabs Kim's neck and tells him to get lost. Well, Kim begins to fondle the blobs of fat on his chest, and says that first step of combat is to get your opponent worked up. That is the same line Haben uses, and Mangi asks him if he is a viral hit ripoff. Kim just smirks and tells him to test it out if he is a ripoff, and says that today he will show how to beat a sumo wrestler as a pro fighter. Kim puts Mangi in a complex armbar and uses his entire body weight to force him to tap out. However, Mangi uses his incredible physical strength to simply lift him up and tries slamming him to the ground. His empty hands hit the ground as Kim swiftly moved away mid-air. He remarks that fighting Mangi is like fighting a boar, so he will also stop considering this as a match. And Mangi rushes at him like a wild boar, knocking Bomi down in the process. Just then, Haben comes there and he charges at Mangi while screaming frantically. A few minutes earlier, he got concerned when Bomi suddenly stopped responding to his texts and rushed towards her. When he saw the fatty knocking her down, he charged at him in blind rage. Mangi is not just an ordinary sumo wrestler. He practices traditional Korean wrestling, which is like sumo but more brutal. At the age of 17, he reached the peak of the Korean wrestling world. He loves wrestling, but more than that, he loves girls. Also, he hates men, and the more handsome they are, the more passionate his hatred becomes. He once beat down a bunch of guys who were trying to protect a girl from him because he can't let anyone have romance in his life if he doesn't have it. The next day after Haben's encounter with the giant incel, he has lost all his cheerfulness